Hi, I'm Daniela and this is Jocelyn. Thanks for coming to our channel.
In this video, we're going to address 5 things about pregnancy that no one talks about.
Whether it's because it doesn't happen often, it's kind of embarrassing, or maybe others don't realize that it's happening to other people, we wanted to look into these topics and figure out why we've never heard about them until experiencing them in pregnancy. So we decided to give you the Lesbi-Honest update on it.
Even though I did go through pregnancy almost 15 years ago, some of these were even new to me. The first one we're going to talk about I never experienced, but it said that it tends to happen towards your last trimester of pregnancy. Unfortunately, since Daniela is carrying multiples, this actually started happening for her pretty early on in the second trimester.
And that is lightning crotch. For those of you who aren't familiar with lightning crotch, it's a sharp shooting pain that is in your vagina or pelvis region. It's not the same as round ligament pain, which can often be mistaken for. Round ligament pain tends to start in your abdomen and go down into your hips. This is much different and pretty terrible.
So why does lightning crotch happen? The good news is it's not a sign of labor and it really isn't an indicator of anything serious, but it is due to some pressure that's put on your pelvis area when the baby starts growing and moving down more further towards your cervix. In Daniela's case, since she has 3 babies inside of her, our little baby A is already so far down onto her pelvis. So as soon as she started growing, Daniela started feeling that lightning crotch.
It is pretty common in pregnancy. Unfortunately, there's no way to completely get rid of lightning crotch. It kind of just comes and goes once you start having it, but there are some things you can do to help, like using a belly support band, moving and shifting in a way that maybe moves the baby off your nerves. We also tried KT tape to hold up my belly, which was helpful. The thing I found the most helpful actually is going to the chiropractor because she does stretch out my pelvis a lot, and that tends to help support a little better.
We're not medical professionals, but in our research, which of course I'll link in the description below, we learned that if lightning crotch is lasting longer than a minute and it's also accompanied by other things like bleeding, vaginal discharge or leaking, dizziness, headaches, then you should contact your physician right away, just to be safe.
Another pregnancy topic I wasn't aware of until I became pregnant with the triplets and experienced it myself was pregnancy rhinitis, which is basically a prolonged stuffy nose throughout the entirety of your pregnancy.
When you're pregnant, your body is making lots of extra blood. The extra blood flow causes your nasal passages to enlarge, and the nasal vessels inside your nose make your mucous membranes more enlarged and inflamed, causing this stuffy nose.
The worst part is that this can last for several weeks or maybe even your entire pregnancy. And the over-the-counter medications you usually use for a stuffy nose generally won't work in this case. As well, it can cause some discomfort throughout the day, but especially when you go to sleep, it can cause some disruptions in your sleeping and breathing because it increases when you lay down.
So how can you get relief from pregnancy rhinitis? Some things you can do are drink plenty of fluids, use a humidifier, avoid nasal irritants like cigarette smoke. Also, you can try the nasal strips that help open up your nasal passages, propping up your bed or your head with some extra pillows or a wedge. And you can also try incorporating some exercises to keep you moving and maybe even help you sleep at night, but definitely check with your physician to make sure what's safe and what's not.
The most disappointing thing about this for me is that it can potentially last your entire pregnancy. Mine started once I got COVID in the first trimester. My stuffy nose just kind of never went away, although it did improve. I would say in my first trimester and the beginning of my second trimester, I couldn't even breathe through my nose. I had to sleep sitting up. I really, really struggled. Where it has improved now and it's much more tolerable. It's more just like you can hear it now. Maybe one nostril's always clogged, but I can sleep. It does make me snore, but I guess I'm thankful that it's not as bad as it was in the beginning. And unfortunately, it does make you more susceptible to sinus and ear infections, so it's best to keep in contact with your doctor if you are suffering from pregnancy rhinitis to make sure things stay clear of infection.
The next pregnancy topic we're going to talk about, and another one I was completely unaware of, is carpal tunnel syndrome during pregnancy. Carpal tunnel happens when something puts pressure or compression on the median nerve of your wrist, and the median nerve controls basically the movements and control of your fingers, especially your thumb and middle finger.
Now that you say that, my middle finger is the one that's always the most numb. I also did not know this was a thing until I started experiencing it. It started just like with my hands falling asleep more when I was sleeping, and I thought like, oh, this is because I have to sleep on my side. It is said that it's more prevalent in your dominant hand, and I can definitely attest to that. My right hand is numb basically almost all day long, and it does get worse later in the day, in the evening after you've been using your hand all day, or like when you're sleeping. I'd say that although I have a lot of numbness in my entire right hand, I do have also like achy pressure in all my joints, like my wrist, my knuckles, and my elbow, because that nerve is just being compressed in my arm. I do have it a little bit in my left arm as well, but it's much less frequent and much more tolerable.
As we've mentioned in some of our previous videos, pregnancy can lead to a lot of fluid buildup and swelling, and this can even happen in your wrists, which will cause that pressure on your median nerve, leading to carpal tunnel syndrome. Expectant mamas who are using their hands a lot in repetitive motions are more susceptible to experiencing carpal tunnel syndrome during pregnancy, which means Daniela's work from home job probably isn't helping the situation any.
While carpal tunnel syndrome can occur at any time during pregnancy, it's most commonly noticed in the third trimester when swelling is at its highest.
Yours started, what, I would say around like 21, 22 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's important to let your doctor know when you start experiencing what might be carpal tunnel syndrome, because it is easier to manage the earlier it's caught. Some treatments that they may put into place are going to be avoiding activities that aggravate it or taking more frequent breaks. Also, maybe getting a physical therapist involved who can massage or teach you how to strengthen or stretch your arms to build the muscle around the carpal tunnel. Some other things may be wearing a wrist splint to help keep your wrists straight. This may be recommended at night when you naturally want to bend your wrists while you sleep. And some other alternative therapies may be yoga, ultrasound, and acupuncture.
To date, this is my most intolerable symptom. I do a lot of shaking of my hands to try and get some feeling back. I think anytime my arm is not in like this perfect position, it's numb. It makes it very difficult to do like random things. Like you wouldn't think. It's like hard to like pick a wedgie or open a bottle. I'm like, why can't I just do? I'm so confused. It's pretty terrible. But if these are the symptoms that I'm facing, like lightning crotch and carpal tunnel, I'll take that any day over preeclampsia. So I'm okay with it.
The fourth pregnancy topic that we want to talk about is one that I have had experience with, and that's sciatic pain. During pregnancy, you'll experience increased levels of the hormone relaxin, which helps loosen up your ligaments and joints and hips in preparation for childbirth. But as your belly grows and those ligaments loosen, things kind of shift. Your center of gravity shifts, and this may actually cause your sciatic nerve to get pinched or irritated. At least it was in my case.
When this nerve gets irritated, it can cause a shooting pain down the back of your butt and the back of your legs. And it can increase when sitting or doing daily movements. It can also cause numbness down the sides of your legs and your back, as well as a shooting pain in your back.
Although this is just another pregnancy symptom that most people have to learn to ride out, there are some homeopathic treatments that may help ease sciatic pain, like avoiding lifting heavy objects. Certain yoga poses or stretches can be helpful. Applying heat, prenatal massages, and having a belly band or belly girdle can also take off some of the pain from your sciatic nerve.
Something I found really helpful for that was going to the chiropractor. They do a lot of stretches and moves that aren't necessarily just cracking that have really helped my sciatic nerve pain. Even though this is pretty common, it's always good to let your doctor know if you're experiencing sciatic nerve pain so they're on the same page and can help you work towards feeling better.
Many resources point out that the sciatic pain will go away or subside once childbirth happens. Unfortunately, that's not the case for everyone. Including myself, I still experience sciatic pain, and it could be due to a number of different factors, but it didn't start until I was pregnant. The last pregnancy topic we wanted to talk about was the comments that you will receive about your pregnancy. From parents to in-laws to strangers at the grocery store, for some reason, everyone will have advice or comments about your pregnancy.
Even about a triplet pregnancy, which I'm sure they haven't experienced before. Everyone wants to tell me their idea of how I should do it.
Although everyone who comments will claim that they only have good intentions in mind, it doesn't mean that it can't still be triggering, especially if they're talking about your changing body, the gender of your baby, your family dynamics, or your ability to be a good mom.
I think it's safe to say that almost all pregnant people will experience this at one point or another and may be affected by it at some point because pregnancy can be an emotional time. We're here to spill the Lesbi-Honest truth that it's okay to get defensive or put these people back in their place if you need to at times. Telling them that their comments are hurtful is okay, and I think might open their eyes a little. It's also okay to distance yourself from people who continually do this and are making you feel badly.
The most important thing to remember about pregnancy is everyone's experience with it will be different. Having a difficult or easy pregnancy doesn't make you better or worse, and it's certainly not a reflection of your ability to grow a healthy and amazing baby or be an amazing mom.
Surrounding everything we discussed today, talking about all of your pregnancy highs and lows with a trusted family or friend can really be helpful at getting you through this. It can help you see that you're not alone in experiencing these things, or maybe you should contact your medical professional because this isn't normal. But it's always good to have a support system to get you through everything because pregnancy is a tough journey.
So laying it all out on the table and keeping that conversation going is a big part of why we're keeping this channel alive. Even if you feel like you have no one to listen to what you're going through, just know you have us. Whether it's commenting on this video or privately messaging us, just know that we're here.
We hope you found value in this video and wish you the best of luck on your path to parenthood.
See you soon.